We have some breaking political news. A key minister in Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's cabinet, Mary Ng, will not be running in the next federal election. She released a letter this afternoon announcing her decision. Ng is the current trade minister who is heavily involved in the current talks with Washington around tariffs.
So we finally heard from Justin Trudeau on the tariff situation, and we'll get to that in a second. But ladies and gentlemen, the Liberal Party is crumbling faster than a house of cards, as it's been brought to my attention that 3 more cabinet ministers have decided that they're out. They're not going to be running in the next election. Now, I'm sure a few of you have seen this morning. Minister Virani, who's the Justice and Attorney General of Canada, put out a statement saying that he will not be running in the next election. Mary Ng, who's currently our Minister of Export, Trade and Development, and is trying to diversify our trading partners so that we're not solely stuck with the U.S., she's also resigning. But the third minister that basically flew under the radar for at least a week is Soraya Martinez. Now, I didn't hear anything on this, and the only thing that I could find was an interview that she did a few days ago on Radio Canada. Now, I'm going to read a little bit of her statement because she announced that she says, "After much reflection, I have decided to run for the mayor of Montreal. This was not an easy decision, but it is one that I know is right, in which I will continue to fight for progressive values." So again, she just out of nowhere. This came out on the 6th of February. I haven't heard anything in the mainstream media, in the news, nothing. As I said, this is the only video I found where she's talking about running for the mayor of Montreal, and this was 4 days ago. Very strange how this didn't get any news. But on top of this, we have the message from Minister Virani. He writes, "Back in the fall of 2013, when my wife, Suchita, and I discussed the prospect of me serving in elected office, I entered the contested nomination race in Parkdale High Park with the support of my young family. Our older son, Zakir, was not quite 3, and Suchi was pregnant with Nitin. Fast forward 3 general elections and 12 years later, and Suchi and my 2 sons have only known a life with their husband and dad in politics, frequently out of the city, sometimes out of the country." So his reasoning is, again, family, which we've started to see this pattern with a lot of the other ministers, like Sean Fraser and all them, saying that they want to be more with their family. I can understand this. 12 years is a long time, especially when your kids are that young. I have kids that are that young, or at least when he got into office currently, and I can't imagine just seeing 12 years of them go by without actually being there. But it is convenient that now he's decided to do it instead of maybe 5 years ago or 4 years ago or the previous election. Like, interesting that you chose now. But it was moved to Mary Ng's. Hers actually was a 2-page statement, and she gives a little backstory about how her parents came from Hong Kong and stuff. But the bottom part of the second page is what caught my eye, where she said, "Before concluding, I must address a critical challenge facing our democracy, one that transcends partisan lines. The unchecked spread of disinformation and unwarranted attacks on the character of our leaders in today's digital age has created an environment that increasingly deters qualified individuals from entering public life." I think if you guys just didn't do shady shit, then people wouldn't be on you. Like, don't blame it on disinformation or misinformation, or like, the unwarranted attacks are not unwarranted. You guys screwed up the system. You guys affected so many people's lives. You haven't put the country in any good position. And so, yeah, people are going to express their anger and their discomfort and their hatred towards you. Like, that's plain and simple. And if you can't handle the scrutiny, yeah, leave, get out. It's a tough job, sure, but that's part of the job. You're supposed to be dealing with the public. You're supposed to be actually listening to your constituents. Only now have you guys admitted, oh yeah, we weren't really doing a very good job as a Liberal Party listening to the people. Well, the people have spoken and they want you out. And you can see that from a lot of the comments here. Let me go back to her page. "Thief, there is no excuse. Another weak Liberal." F off, enjoy prison, you won't be missed, good, you're all criminals, F off again by the same guy, goodbye, good riddance. Like, this is a common theme. And, Varani, I think, also had the same thing. Go F yourself, good riddance. Some people giving words of, I guess, encouragement. Thank you for your service in the to our community. Sorry to hear that you aren't running again. You are an excellent minister, but you deserve a life free from abuse. Judy, people aren't out there to abuse our politicians. They've put themselves in positions where now they can get abused, like introducing ridiculous laws like Bill C-63, which is what Varani tried to push very hard. You could have been a good man, but instead you chose to be the obedient to the WEF dehumanizing agenda and censorship bill. Exactly what I was just talking about. Not staying in the game to pass your 1984 legislation. What would Big Brother think? And this goes on and on. So people aren't really that sad about this, but it is kind of interesting that the Liberal Party is just crumbling. They're all rallying behind Carney, but as one person stated, the Carney mania isn't as hyped up as it seems to be. But as I mentioned, Trudeau put out a little statement in regards to the tariffs that Trump was trying to impose. So let's take a listen to what he had to say.
Tariffs on Canadian steel and aluminum would be entirely unjustified. We are the U.S.'s closest ally. Our economies are integrated. Canadian steel and aluminum is used in a number of key American industries, whether it's defense, shipbuilding, manufacturing, energy, automotive. Together we make North America more competitive. We will be working with the American administration over the coming weeks to highlight the negative impacts on Americans and Canadians of these unacceptable tariffs. But we'll also be working with our international partners and friends. And if it comes to that, our response, of course, will be firm and clear. We will stand up for Canadian workers. We will stand up for Canadian industries. And more Canadians will stand up for each other. This is a moment of pride. This is a moment of pulling together. This is a moment for Canada to be solid in our identity, in our sovereignty, and in our presence for our friends and neighbors.
Now, I don't know about you, but this guy just seems so checked out. Like, I did not feel any sort of passion or vigor, or like he just seemed like he did not want to be here, did not want to have this conversation with the media. And he only took one question in English and one question in French afterwards. And this is how that went.
Do you reciprocate dollar for dollar with tariffs on aluminum and steel?
As usual, we hope that it will not come to that. We will work with the American administration and highlight that imports of Canadian steel and aluminum create thousands, if not millions, of jobs and support families across the United States. We have been doing things together in an extraordinarily integrated way for many, many years, and we will look to continue to work with our closest ally and partner. We should be doing more together, not fighting with each other, but Canadians will stand up strongly and firmly if we need to.
Yeah, I don't know about you, but Justin just seems like he's got no pizzazz, no fire in him anymore. He's totally checked out, and I get it. He's resigned, but you're still the acting prime minister. You still should have some sort of oomph in what you're saying, what you're doing. But in all honesty, if we're looking at his party, who does he have left in terms of cabinet minister? He's got Dominic LeBlanc, Mark Holland, Steve McKinnon. He just appointed Erskine Smith to the housing department. I can't even really think of any other ministers that he has left on his roster, and I'm not sure there's going to be other people that want to be moved into these new roles. So the Liberals are just sinking ship. But yeah, this is just a quick update. Want to let you guys know. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. And as always, I will catch you guys on the next one. Thanks so much.